in defense of Elon, he did do one thing. He has really focused on one thing, and that's making sure his tweets are seen by everybody else. So that's where all of his focus has gone, and that has worked perfectly. That has worked perfectly. We all see his tweets, so he's worked on that perfectly.
He's genuinely
what a clown.
He's actually running the app so bad that like my attention span is not long. So I moved on from even remembering to be bothering Elon, but like everybody else, which is why his engagement was down. No one gave a fuck anymore. Like whatever, we had already even come to terms with the basic level of glitches. But he is literally so hell bent on making this shit crumble, like that we have no choice, like out the blue, because the app will just go haywire. I'm like, oh, I wasn't even trying to think about you, Elon, but I'm locked up my account, bro. What's up? What's up? I can't see my timeline. Why can't I see my likes? What is up, my guy? Like that was the first time I truly understood. Like that was the first time in my life I thought about stocks in a way that wasn't make believe. Like, okay, this is earned. Like your Tesla, if I were a person in the stock world, yes, your shit has to crash, because why would I want a car by a man who can't run an app? I finally officially like, I've never had any smoke for when people talk about Teslas blow up and that, because I have a friend who's so into Teslas, but suddenly I was like, did you driving that for real? Like, you feel safe? You feel sturdy? Like, look at the app. I didn't even know Twitter. Like, I've never seen a sustained glitch on Twitter in the 10-something years on the app, and now the whole shit. I'm like dead ass. The app is real life crumbling like King's Landing. Like that's why I got this shit at the end. Like I'm like, and we about to go out. Like seriously, I feel it. It's terrible.
I also love that he's doing the entire thing just because it's like, I want you to promote my tweets. And all the engineers are snitching on him. Because of course, if you had a team of people who are all like, oh, you have to go Goblin mode and live inside the building and have terrible working conditions, and the kitchen's closing down and the food is shit, but keep going Goblin mode for me. We're going to be awesome. We're going to make this app amazing. And also promote my tweets. That's what you have to do. Make my tweets good. Oh, and Cat Turd. Yeah, it's 3 a.m. I'm waking all of you up, but Cat Turd doesn't have engagement. Well, of course the fuck, if I was an engineer working there, I'd be like, yeah, this dictatorship is crazy. It is like, it is fucking the worst. This like man baby, we gotta do something about it. It's terrible.
And Cat Turd still hates him. He fucking hates his guts.
I know. Well,
it's unreal.
He's the all right.
Because you want to feel like, you know what I think is ridiculous? Like when people are trying to dunk on you and the internet is cracking jokes on you and people are making you the main character, it's supposed to be like where the things are hyperbolic. Like all jokes aside, it's unreal the fact that we've been saying the whole time this is all about his ego and he wants our attention and stuff, and for it to be so shamelessly like you real life did this, you really took over this app, you did all this because it's that important to you. For a bunch of motherfuckers on Twitter to be checking for your tweet, like you really, like at your big age, you're not embarrassed. Like
white supremacist, we should say that he's the reply guy for white supremacists. That's what he.
I'd be embarrassed. Like I would be a little way. Like it's a little bit like embarrassing if you was like sending your boys your tweets and shit, like retweet it. Like I wouldn't go to y'all like that. Let alone like go get a bunch of grown adults like, get out your bed, get to the offices right fucking now. None of my shit's going viral.
And like, what set him off is that his Super Bowl day tweet didn't do as well as Joe Biden's did. Like and then he ended up deleting the tweet, not because the Eagles lost, but because his tweet didn't perform as well. Like it's so embarrassing.
I was wondering like what could possibly be more pathetic than getting upset that you put out support for a team that lost that you have no connection to. And it turns out you could get more pathetic, and that is getting mad that someone else's tweet about the losing team did better than yours did.
That's so, like, he's embarrassing, son. Like, I'm genuinely ashamed. Like, why don't you have rich stuff to do?
Divorce. Yeah, I know.
And
I know. Enjoy yourself. You could do anything. You could literally do anything, and you're choosing to like live in this nightmare that you create in order to like please the far right. That's so sad.
Well, it's like, okay, you're rich, go do rich people things, as Ole said, go on your yacht and stuff. But when he tried that, we all made fun of him because of that fucked up picture of his weird body, remember? So he can't do that. He's constantly getting made fun of.
He should take that up with Jesus. Okay, he can't get in between. But like that doesn't concern us. Your problems with the Lord is between you and him. But clearly, this is worse. We would have moved on. But now you've made us hate you. You know what I think is interesting about people like to be so hyper concerned with like popularity or likability. Clearly, it's not just like you want attention, but you also want to be liked by the very people that you insist on shitting on. You want to be loved by us. My guy, if they stop important to you, just be fake. Nigga, we done told you what to do. Like, I mean, I just, like, honestly, like, for the love of God, people ask, like, they do all of this and they obsess. Like, bro, just go be likable. They do everything but be likable. We've already told you. Like, it's not difficult. Stop doing all the shit you're doing. That's why, if you were wondering, like, what we don't like about you, it's all that shit, right? Like, rearrange that. Go figure that out, right? You have billions of dollars. Certainly, you could get some friends that we like. You don't have to kick it with the white supremacists. That feels like a choice. Feels like a choice. Feels like a choice. I feel like billions of dollars. You should holler at Beyonce, but no.
You want to be Pat Turd's reply guy. You want to be Ian Miles Strong's reply guy. You are choosing to do that. Yes.
And as Infinite Content in the chat mentions, Elon Musk, it's now being reported as of today that Tesla apparently fired dozens of employees in retaliation for union organizing. This is in Buffalo. So right now there's a campaign going on to organize their union, and he just fired a bunch of them.
David, there was massive recalls today, hundreds of thousands
of cars.
to
that as well.
The autopilot function. The autopilot function is no more because apparently
not autopilots. The full self-driving. That's a different thing, but it's an autonomous thing. Also, it should be mentioned that the recall is basically they need to issue a software update to all these vehicles. Like, people aren't going to actually be returning these cars, but it's still a recall, technically a recall nonetheless.
The man is a villain and a fool, and more important than being a villain. No, it's like dead ass. Like, the least you could do when people don't like you is be on your shit, right? Like, no, on dead ass. Like, we're talking all this shit. Why? You already know we've been trying to prove. So many people didn't like Elon before this, right? Nowhere near to this magnitude, because a lot of us just didn't have a need to check for him. But people were always alleging that you are not truly a genius, that Tesla has all these problems, that shit blows up on your watch, that things break down, that you're a shoddy businessman. But people had been alleging that you were a fool, but we didn't know you weren't close enough. You weren't close enough.
And potential sexual assaulter. We should mention
that
too.
And morally bankrupt deviant. You are filled with problem. But you had some distance between that. People could still like reasonably get it off. But now it's like, whether or not people want to be in your business, whether or not they need to be focused, whether or not they need to be making the case. Millions of people on this app and they are watching it fall apart. Like, so now, not only are you dislikable, not only do you have all this other stuff that was, maybe you could have beat those allegations, but now we know you're a fool. So you a villain. You a bigot in real time. You a hypocrite. All that shit you was talking about, all those pretense, all that free speech, all that nonsense, we already know. Oh, you full of shit. We done seen the poll. Like, the hypocrisy abounds. But on top of that, you fucking up the app. You could at least, let me tell you something. If you're going to be disliked, run your shit smooth. Like, the least you could do if you want to be a fucking morally bankrupt villain, give us a product that works. Jeff Bezos knows why Amazon Prime is efficient, nigga. You get your shit and do it.
Right.
He's not wrong.
No, dead ass. You dislike me, but you can't cancel your membership. You can't lie on Amazon Prime. But this shit, Twitter is broke down. Like, you can't even lie for it. It don't work, my guy. He doesn't even know what's wrong.